Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Malinga Sise of Urban Harvest Organic Farm. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful. And for those who are still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Today I want us to discuss something very important in poultry farming that has affected all of us. At least if you have done poultry farming, I'm sure you have been affected by this, and that is the causes of drop in egg production. So many of you are sending me messages. My birds have stopped laying. What can I do? What has led to that? Some of you, the birds have even dropped in production so sharp, like within a span of a small time. You find that the birds have dropped from 20 trays to like 10 trays of eggs, of which that is a very sharp drop. But then, okay, after that, we are going to add for these birds the drinking water. You can see most of the drinkers are now empty, okay? But one thing that I want us to know is that your birds will not just drop in production without something leading to that. That's why for those who have been responding to that comment, I have been telling you that you need to find out what has caused that, because at least there is something that has made those birds to drop in production. And I have so many of them. I actually have been writing them. They are right here. So we are going to discuss them one by one. Now, so many factors can lead to a drop in egg production, by the way. And for those who are doing layers, it is through the eggs that we are able to get the profits, and it is only through the eggs that we are able to expand. If you raise birds like now these ones, and they end up not laying eggs, or they start laying eggs well, and then they drop in production, trust me, you're not in business. You will end up being so discouraged. You can even end up selling off the birds, and you will end up quitting the project completely. Now, there are some factors that can lead to this. Others are natural, by the way. Others are unavoidable, but most of them are caused by us, the farmers. So let us go straight to the causes of drop in egg production in poultry farming. The first one is poor nutrition. Guys, I've always told you that these birds need proper feeding. If we do not feed these birds well, from the first day that they are brought into the brooder, trust me, your birds are not going to grow well. Your birds will not lay at the right time. Or the birds will start laying very well, but most of the birds will end up not laying. And at the end of it all, your production is going to be very low. That is why some of you cannot even make it to 90% egg production. So make sure that the feeds that you're giving these birds from the first day that you bring those birds into the farm or into the brooder, make sure that you give them the right feeds. And we have been discussing these right feeds time and again. Actually, I've even given you the feed formulation of these layers several times, by the way. Whenever I also change mine, I always give you. Now, like last time, I gave you the ones I've changed to, but you can see it is helping my birds. You can see the birds are picking on well. The birds are very active. They are looking so good. So please, let us endeavor to feed the birds with the right feeds. And then secondly, after feeding the birds, make sure the birds have enough drinking water. These birds will grow only if you give them drinking water. You cannot give them the right feeds and you deny them water. Water must be there at all times. Even when the birds start laying eggs, they need the drinking water. So if you know that your workers cannot give birds water in time, you as the owner of the farm, always go inside the chicken house, check and make sure that water is given to the birds. Actually, this is one challenge that I have, by the way, with my colleague whom we work with. Whenever I'm not around, I find out that she has not given the birds the drinking water. That is actually one big challenge that I have, honestly. So that affects the production of these birds. At the end of it, all your birds will start dropping in production when it is just a simple problem of not giving them enough drinking water. So water is very important in the lives of our layers. And then number 2, is diseases. When these birds fall sick, trust me, they will drop in production. Trust me. Whether you like it or not. That is why we should make sure that biosecurity is very, very observed. No one should enter inside the poultry house without disinfecting their feet. Please, that is very important. Actually, in some farms, some bigger farms, you find that you even change their clothing. You don't enter inside the chicken house with the same clothes that you've come with from outside or you've been having. Whenever you're entering inside that chicken house, you must change the clothes. This is very important. When these birds get sick, even when they're still young like this, you will see your birds will fail to grow, your birds will start dying, your birds will not lay at the right time. So when they are laying eggs already and they get any disease, those birds will drop in production. Now, another one is overcrowding these birds. I know so many farmers out there, they put, let's say they consider like 8 birds in 1 square meter. But guys, honestly, when you overcrowd these birds, your production might not be what you desire. So that is why I will say, please, let us endeavor to put at least 6 birds in 1 square meter. Beyond that, that is overcrowding. When the birds are overcrowded, so many other issues actually come up. You find that birds will start pecking on others. Birds will, they develop diseases very fast. Okay? So overcrowding also is not good. It will make your birds not to perform well. So let us make sure that we consider 6 birds in 1 square meter. If you're considering 8 birds or 7 birds, that means, there is no any other mistake that you're doing in the farm. Water is not pouring there. You're giving them everything perfectly well. Because if the birds are still overcrowded, too much water is pouring inside the chicken house, the feeders are not enough, the drinkers are not enough, trust me, your birds will end up not laying well. They might start laying very well. Along the way, they will start dropping in production. And then, number 4, we have stress. Stress comes in different ways. Overcrowding them alone also brings them stress. Changing of workers also stresses these birds. When you introduce new things, maybe you change on the feeders, you change on the drinkers, it also stresses these birds. So, a lot of noise stresses the birds. When something bang like this and the birds run up and down, that is all stressing the birds. So when the birds are laying eggs, trust me, the next day you'll realize a decrease in egg production. Now, like last time, I dusted the birds. I told you guys that my birds dropped in production. So that is still stressing this. Any activity happening inside the farm, it makes these birds stressed, and at the end of it all, they will drop in egg production. Number 5, we have weather changes. Okay? Now, right now, for us, sometimes it rains, other days it will not rain. When during the rainy season, those birds drop in production. During the hot season still, they drop in production. So, if it is the rainy season, you must know the herbs that you're going to give to those birds, at least to boost on their appetite, to warm them up. And I've always given you all these herbal remedies. So it is also one thing that can lead to a drop in egg production in poultry farming. And then inadequate lighting inside the poultry house. Guys, you have to know that these birds, at least they need between 14 to 16 hours of lighting inside their house. So if it is not being enough, that will make your birds not to lay well. It is also one reason why your birds will end up dropping in production. It is threatening to rain, so I think we need to hurry up. And then also, another thing that will lead your birds to drop in production that most farmers ignore are the parasites, such as the mites, the fleas, the lice, This has affected me several times. Now, just like few days ago, we dusted fleas in the old birds. Trust me, these parasites can make these birds to drop so greatly in production. So whenever you experience a drop in production, get your birds, open their feathers and see if they do not have some small, tiny insects there. That can make your birds to drop in production so greatly. And then lastly is old age. Old age affects these birds. In fact, they say that these birds, they lay for 72 weeks. So beyond that, actually even before reaching the 72 weeks, you start realizing a drop in egg production. So as a farmer, you have to make sure that you keep on boosting on their egg production by giving them the green vegetables that I've always preached about, by giving them the herbal remedies that I've always preached about. So these are some of the things that will make your birds to drop in production. But surprisingly, most farmers, when their birds drop in production, they normally do not know what has caused the drop in production. If you're very keen and you're always visiting those birds, you're not leaving the works in the hands of the workers, honestly, you will always know what has led to a drop in your egg production. That is very, very important, because when you know the cause, honestly, you will be able to handle it very, very well. So now let us come and give the birds the drinking water. We're going to remove all the drinkers out, and then we bring them the drinking water, because you can see most of the drinkers are now empty. And now actually I will remove the drinkers and keep them thirsty like for some 30 minutes, and then I will bring the water. Okay, see you right back. for today. That is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for all your wonderful love and support. But if you're still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be so grateful. And don't forget to tell me which country you're watching me from, and I'll be smiling. See you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.